I'm really excited to be sharing on this with Auntie Waimi Benoba on her journey, on her experience so far with the treatment of cancer. I'm grateful to God that this is coming so many can also learn from her story. Wow. Auntie Waimi is someone that is dear to me. She's my friend, an auntie. She's someone that has really impacted me spiritually. Yes, she knows this because I've said that to her. She's a spiritual leader that I love being in her company. So there was this day until when we reached out, and then she mentioned and told me that she'll be going for a surgery to remove a lump. So I took this casually and thought to myself that she'll just go have the lump removed and that will be all. So later on, I found out that she was being diagnosed of cancer. When this news got to me, I broke down. Because I was not expecting that to come up. And no one was expecting that either. I broke down. I was destabilized and sad. I remember paying her a visit, and on my way home, a lot of thoughts were just running through my mind, just asking why. And then I was asking myself questions that why is this happening? And I was saying to myself, how will this go? How will this end? We should come out of this, because at that time there were people also who I knew that were undergoing the treatment of cancer. At some point many passed. So this increased my fears. I was worried. I remember getting home on that same day. I called my children. I told them, I said, we need to be praying for Auntie Waimi. You people should be praying. Whenever, anytime you pray, please keep her in your prayer. And even when in my home we came together to pray, each person takes their turn to pray for her. The next day, I remember waking up, to pray, and I broke down. I broke down in tears while I was just talking to God and asking God to send a miracle. Because it was so hard for me to accept cancer. It was hard for me to accept it. But here we are today. I pray that even as her story goes out there, that it will meet a need.
I'm with my friend, my beautiful friend, very encouraging friend Kemi, and I want to ask her how she felt when she heard the news of the breast cancer. Over to you, Kemi.
Auntie, I must confess that that afternoon, on a Sunday after service, when you called me and you told me about your states, with cancer, I was shattered. My whole world felt like, this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't, happen to somebody who loves God. It dampened my spirit, made me to feel like, is God not there? Why would such happen to, somebody who loves God, a good woman? She has kept herself, away from things that could, cause this kind of a thing. And even throughout that day, even for days, I was still in thoughts, deep thoughts of how she would cope. It wasn't even about the money she would spend. It was more of, could it be a death sentence? I was afraid for her. I couldn't express all of this, but my thoughts were flying everywhere because we've heard of, situations about cancer and how it had killed so many people, And for me, it was just a good thing that she braved it. She was strong all through. In short, her encouragement encouraged me.
It was a big shock news for me when I heard when you told me about it. At first, I paused. I went to my corner. I wept without anybody seeing me, and I cleaned my eyes that didn't I have faith that there is faith in God, that with God everything is possible. And I know that you are a woman of faith and you are very strong to stand to that as well. And at the same time, when Anna came to you, you were like, no, I should not break down. I should not look so bad. That I should just keep praying for you. And I said, okay, if I have to be strong for you, so that all our prayer can be answered to God. But I was so grateful to God to see you standing now, to see what God has performed in your life, and God is still doing wonderful things in your life. I give God all the glory, honor, and adoration.
Based on what I knew about cancer back then. So my initial reaction was, that can be true. I mean, have you gone for a review? Have you gone for another checkup to be sure? And to be honest, I did not see the fighter, that I later saw in her. I did not know how she was going to take it. I did not know how it would pan out. But looking back now, I think, she is one of those very few people that I know who have fought cancer so well. And I'm sure there have been the behind the scenes days of being down and all of that. Okay. I think she has fought well, and she has become a good ambassador of what it means to fight cancer. And I'm sure she has gotten the victory, even though she keeps going back from time to time for reviews. But I'm sure that, this victory, by the grace of God, is a permanent one. So the fact is, I didn't know how it would play out. I didn't know how she would, respond over the coming weeks after she got that information. I know that her husband has always been a pillar of strength, but I didn't know how she herself would, take it. But as it turned out, day by day, she responded well. She was open to treatment. She was ready to go for treatment. She just held on to the positive side of hope, and it has paid off. It has really paid off, and I think she's at a better place today. So was I afraid? Maybe not. I mean, I don't think the immediate fear of death came to my mind. Maybe confused, a bit confused. So how is this going to play out? And I think the way they sprung into action too kind of helped, and the way they sprung into action, their readiness and willingness. By day now, I mean she and her husband, their readiness and willingness to fight this, I think also was a stabilizer for me. I think it was a stabilizer for me. The way they went after, research, wanting to know what to do, talking to who they needed to talk to. I think it helped me to see that, she's going to put up a fight. So that helped. There are some cases where you see hopelessness, and that, also adds to your own feeling of hopelessness and sadness. But in this case, I think her fight and her attitude kind of helped me, to see it differently. So whatever fear that may have wanted to creep up just did not have the room to survive because of our own, attitude. So I think that's what my response to finding out, she had cancer, was. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this.